In this video, you're gonna learn a lot of things about Romanian women. I just want to mention the fact that this actually applies to other women as well. If you're in France, if you're in Italy, if you're in Spain, it's not about Romanian women. We just put those titles because we work with a lot of people, a lot of men such as yourself from all over this globe. We had clients from Italy, customers from France, we have from the United States, from the United Kingdom, by the way. We want to salute you with this video. So this video applies for everyone living everywhere. We are based in Bucharest, Romania, and we have boot camps every single month with people such as yourself. So that's why we tend to put this in the title. However, this video, we're talking about 5 mistakes that make Romanian women hate you. And the number one is we got to understand the reality that most men live. Most men are trying to hook up with women, usually on Tinder. And if you didn't discover yet, Tinder is very, very outdated. Some men are a bit clever and they're trying to hook up with women on Instagram, where you have loads of chances. You have way more chances than on Tinder. However, to take action on Instagram, you need to understand the basic dynamic over there. You need to understand that you need to have nice photos. You need to have a nice profile. You need to understand the dynamics of messaging and texting and stuff like that. We do online coaching as well if you need help with that. However, the first mistake that will push Romanian women out of your way is the fact that you are constantly bragging. Because men don't usually interact with a lot of women, and that's, like I said, that's the reality for most of the men. They hook up in social circles once in a while at work, or God knows at a dancing course or something like that. They go out with a woman once every 3 or 4 months, and that's the reality they live in. So once they go with that woman, they're totally uncalibrated. They're very destabilized emotionally. So what they do over there, they go with the first thing that it comes to their mind. And because they're thinking, this is a very superficial generation, I should be superficial as well. So they start to brag with women at the table when they have their first date. They start to brag with the car. They start to brag with maybe successes in sex and relationships with other women. And you got to understand that when you talk about these things, you're trying to compensate in reality for the things that you don't have. A guy that has money doesn't have to talk about money. A guy that is banging a lot of women doesn't have to talk about that because he's doing it. He's so bored of it. As well as if you go to a stripper and you want to fuck her, you're never going to fuck her because that's all she does every single day. She is selling sex to weak men such as yourself maybe. So you got to understand this reality, because the guy that talks about certain stuff usually is the guy that doesn't have that stuff, unless of course it's a guy such as myself that makes videos, wants to help you, and so on. And big mistake that men do is that they are trying to impress the woman, forgetting that when you go and approach a woman, it's about impressing yourself. When you approach Romanian women, you don't approach them for sex, for dates and whatnot. You approach them to discover yourself. Based on the woman's rejection or response to your interaction, even if it's good or bad, it's going to say something about you, because it's going to show the level of your reactivity, the level of your judgment. It's going to say things about yourself. So you might say, but I do want to have sex, I do want to have dates, and that's a good purpose. But to begin with, you got to understand more about yourself. If you feel like you're agitated in the interaction, if you feel like you cannot be a magnet that attracts women, you're constantly chasing them. If you're trying to get their approval, these show some mistakes. These show some inner pains that you have. And that's why we highly recommend you do some coaching. Maybe at least some online coaching before you come over here and you take action in person. Or if you want to take action in person in your country, you can do that as well. We can actually assist you via online. But approaches say something about you, not the person. The third mistake that you do is that whenever you go to have a dinner or you go to the club, the things that you buy are expensive and you buy them just to show off. And you got to understand that when you order that bottle of Moet, the champagne, when you buy luxurious drinks and stuff like that, or when you put your wallet and your new phone, your new iPhone, and you put the keys to the car, the BMW, what sort of women are you going to attract? First of all, women will never come to your table just because you show some random stupid shit. If they come, they don't come for you because they value you as a person, because they don't know shit about you. They come based on what they've seen. They've seen expensive drinks, expensive car. They want a piece of that. And you might tell yourself, oh, I have a lot of money. I'm actually okay with that. It's not that true, because you're watching this video. So something tells me that you want something more from life. Because when you hook up with women just for money, just because you have money, that tells the world something about you, and it tells you something about yourself. Fourth mistake that you do when approaching women, either if Romanian women, Italian women, God knows, the fourth mistake that you do is that you're looking for approval. And that's because you don't approve of yourself. That's because some people in your life told you that you're not sufficient. So you consider yourself not being worthy. You consider yourself that you don't deserve certain things. These are beliefs that you have that will run you all the way through life. You've seen them in your father, you've seen them in a girl that you liked in school, you've seen them in your boss at work, and you constantly see them all over the place because that's the reality and the paradigm you're living it. So you need to understand that paradigm and how to overcome it. Fifth big mistake that you're doing and make Romanian women hate you is the fact that when you go talk to them, you're not necessarily honest. So there is a slight limit between being honest and being full of crap, telling lies. You don't want to be honest if you're fully fucked up, if you feel like very negative all the time, the world in your eyes is something terrible, you have wars, you have pandemic, and if you feel like shit, you don't want to honestly be telling this to a woman. You don't want to tell a woman that you want to have a kid, especially when you just approach her on the place. You don't want to tell a woman that you just approached that you have been in a relationship for like 10 years, you're suffering, or she was a piece of shit or something like that. That's a level of honesty that is totally unreliable and irrelevant for a first date or for a first approach in the very first 3-5 minutes. You may come to these topics once you've established some trust in between the two of you, but however, this goes along in like 2-3 months, 6 months of possible relationship, possible dates where you had sex and stuff like that. So there are some topics that you might talk about when time passes by and you've built up this trust and relationship in between the two of you. So then you have topics that are worthy of being discussed when you approach a woman or when you have a first date, and you have topics that are totally irrelevant and shows that you're suffering. So just remember that the things that you're feeling, people that are around you will feel the exact same feeling. So you got to think about that for a second because it's some deeper shit over there. So I hope this video helps you. I hope we give you some ideas in how to approach life itself when it comes to dating and the paradigms. And I hope you take a look at your reality, the reality you're living, because most probably you're living the exact same reality most of men live. Approach once a month. And so many men don't even do that. They approach on Instagram. What is that shit? They try to hook up with like their best friend or something. These are totally things that don't represent masculinity. If you want to become a real man, if you want to stop being a fucking child, if you want to take action and become a high value man, you got to understand the principles over here. And I just want to let you know that we have an upcoming bootcamp and we have a Euro tour where we're going to approach women in 3 different countries. And you don't want to miss that. It's the opportunity of your life to live a life exactly as you want it. And it's got to start now. You got to take a fucking decision.